Welcome back in the city of New Britannia. Wir gehen in den Kerker, um Mr. Martin zu verhören, der Hauptverdächtige im Dupré-Fall, die ja, nachdem sie schon eigentlich schon tot war, wiederkehrte.
Is that you? You look like something a cat spat up.
Hello,
danke.
Giles. It's lovely to see you too.
Okay, ist scheinbar nicht ganz so groß zum Glück.
What brings you round the jail? I thought you'd quit being a detective.
I'm looking to speak with Mr. Albert Martin.
Oh, I see. Well, that's him in the first cell there.
Ja, wer sonst, ne?
I'd say what needs saying as quick as you can, though. He's headed for the gallows in the morning.
What? Already? But what about a trial?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little half-breed's already sealed his fate.
Ho,
Such a charming fellow, isn't he?
Arschloch nennt man sowas.
Bisschen racist
He's
hier.
watching you like a hawk. Looks liable to toss you in one of his cells if you try any funny business.
Okay. Was haben wir
genau.
denn hier so?
Das ist hier diese Zange, die so halb über unserem
Either
Kopf
crime
hängt.
is low, or the police aren't doing their jobs very well.
Na dann,
Guck gerade, ob es noch irgendwie...
quatschen wir mal.
Nö. Albert.
Guten Tag, Mr. Martin.
Mr. Martin?
Who are you? My lawyer?
Aha.
No, I'm actually here to help you. The name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
Wir haben nur bis morgen Abend Zeit,
are
ne?
you going to help me?
Ja.
I'm looking into the attack on Madame Dupré. I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven. That's
Nein, ich
that's
denk, das
music to my
missachtet.
ears.
Would you mind answering a few questions for me?
Mrs.
Friend, if it means saving me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing less than God's truth.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone accused of using black magic.
Danke, das hätte ich mir auch selber gedacht.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupré?
What's to tell? She's a twisted, evil woman who got what was coming to her. Whoever attacked her deserves some sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham. You have to believe me.
I'm afraid you're not making that very easy right now, Mr. Martin.
Dann erzähl mir was mal von ihrem Tod.
Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupré's supposed death?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Then why did her son accuse you?
Probably because he's just as ignorant as she is.
What I meant was, how did her son know to accuse you? Have you had any contact with the family before?
Yes, you could say that.
Uh-oh. That gleam in his eye says it all.
You see, I'm involved with Dupré's daughter, Juliette Montgomery. Dupré doesn't like that one bit. She even threatened me once.
Is that right?
Yes, she might have everyone else fooled, but that woman is the devil incarnate. I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and, loving as my dear Juliette.
He's not really helping his case much, is he?
Wie wäre es, wenn es alles ein großes Komplott ist und die Madame sich selber hat quasi vorgetäuscht hat, um den reinzureiten, damit er nicht ihre geliebte Tochter heiratet.
Aber dann wäre es seltsam, dann hat sie sich selbst eine Überdosis
Ja, wäre
gegeben.
dann schiefgelaufen quasi. Na, guck.
Tell me about
Meine
Juliette.
Theorie.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She hasn't come to see me yet, but I'm sure that's because of all the confusion in the last few days. Juliette wouldn't believe for a second that I would be capable of harming her
werden
mother.
wir sehen, wenn wir sie
I'm
besuchen
sure
gehen.
of it.
How did you two get involved?
We met at the university.
Your classmates?
Hardly. They wouldn't allow someone like me to enroll there. Juliette studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse. We started talking, and she actually treated me like a person. To everyone else, I was just the boy who fetched the test tubes. But Juliette actually wanted to hear what I had to say. Had the same taste in books and art. Didn't just treat me like some piece of gardening equipment. She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there, things just got better. I don't expect you to understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective and she was a singer at a bar.
And
Man, beide falsch.
she's-
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. How often is Juliette in the greenhouse?
every weekday, but I doubt she's there now. She's probably trying to find out where I am and working to have me released.
Somehow, I wouldn't bet on that.
Weißt du, was ich mich frage zu deiner Theorie? in der Zeit hatten Frauen ja eigentlich überhaupt nicht zu melden, scheinbar, oder sehr wenig. Und ich glaube, dass so eine Frau aus reichem Haus das einfach auch verbieten hätte können.
Maybe.
Also, so stelle ich mir die Welt gerade vor.
Ja, das ist immer das Problem, wenn man die Welt nicht kennt. Ne? Schau
How
mal.
did you end up in here?
I was just minding my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on Madame Dupre. The next thing I knew, I was here. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with worry. I just hope she's all right.
Ich meine, er hat da durchaus ein Motiv. Er hat vielleicht sogar auch die Kenntnisse auf eine Art, ne?
Ja, Botanik,
sich
Pflanzen.
vergiften zu wollen, also mal gucken.
What does your mother do, Mr. Martin?
She helps people.
I was hoping you'd be just a bit more specific.
She provides spiritual help to those who seek guidance.
She's a spiritualist.
Not quite. She's more like... how can I explain it? You know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people? My mother holds services and calls on the spirits to walk among us, providing healing and guidance.
So she's a religious leader?
If you want to give her that title, it would be the most appropriate.
And does this religion of yours have a name?
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but it doesn't mean what you think it does. People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no idea.
Okay.
So you practice voodoo, do you?
Oh, why
Are
not?
you making fun of me, Mr. Fordham?
No, of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was. It's just that the police are convinced that black magic was involved in Madame Dupre's apparent death.
That's because that idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all bigoted fools, assumed that we're involved in devil worship and the black arts. But I can assure you that this is most certainly not the case, Mr. Fordham.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply.
Just forget it.
Okay.
That's all for now.
Oh, wait, before you go, would you do me a favor? Would you go see my mother at our house and give her a
Da wollen wir
message?
noch hin.
Ja.
You're at 451 Compton Street, right?
Yes, that's right. Could you tell her I said St. Rock's dog is barking?
I suppose I could do that, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Whatever happened to a simple I love you?
Ja, die gute alte Zeit. Man einfach nur, ich liebe dich, Mama. Sagte. Nein, jetzt sagt man St. Rose. Aha.
Ich finde es total geil, dass in dem Close-Up, was ich jetzt nicht mehr zeigen kann, dass man hier so das Highlight immer von dem Licht sieht, wenn die sich unterhalten. Beide haben das ja auf derselben Seite, aber nee, eigentlich wollen wir hier mit keinem mehr quatschen.
dann
Kann
warte
man
mal.
ja auch nicht. Hier
Gucken wir
gibt's
uns nochmal auf
nichts
der
mehr.
Karte umschauen, was wir jetzt tun.
Genau, was wir auch machen können, ist
Oh, um
hier.
Gottes Willen.
Also,
die Bewohner des Dupré-Haus verfolgen,
Genau.
das angemietete Zimmer in Forest Lane untersuchen, Grabstätte untersuchen, eine Stimulanz finden, um Andrew aus dem Rausch zu holen, Juliette Montgomery besuchen und die
viele
Nachricht
Dinge.
überbringen. Okay, schauen wir einfach mal auf die Karte. Da war jetzt nichts Neues bei.
Nee, Verdächtiger, Dokumente, auch nicht.
Schöne, große, lange Geschichte. Ich mag, wenn es so seine Zeit braucht.
Habe ich auch vermutet, sonst ist es ja langsam.
Und ich tippe auch mal, dass man dann auch mal wieder zurückkehren muss zu den
Universität können wir auch. Okay, was? Da erstmal hin?
Compton Street vielleicht mal mitnehmen. Ja, guck mal. Stellen wir uns mal vor, wir wären eher, ne? Wir würden erst nicht zur Universität und dann wieder da und dann
Nee,
machen.
jetzt dahin.
Wir waren jetzt mal logisch.
Ah, Compton Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
Okay, was gibt's hier draußen? Gibt's hier irgendwas zu sehen?
Bonbon's
Restaurant.
Restaurant. I never got a chance to go there, but I hear their deviled eggs are simply to die for. One of
Plakat.
Atwood's re-election posters, sorely lacking a mustache. Go on, Miles. Fix this grievous injustice.
Not now, Bill. There are more important things to worry about.
Spoil sport.
Jetzt
Considering
geil.
how many eating establishments are in this neighborhood, the butcher picked a fantastic spot to set up shop. I do notice a distinct lack of stray cats in this neighborhood, though.
Oh, come on, let's go
eklig.
inside.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
Erstmal, ich würde erstmal warten.
Ja?
Ja,
I need to speak with you about Albert Martin.
Albert,
er weiß, was das
are you with
bedeutet.
the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Oh, I don't think you can help. I'm sorry.
Na dann.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Rock's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's
sure.
good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do.
Ich spreche auch nicht gerne über bellende Hunde auf der Straße.
Ha, Codewörter.
Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business.
Wer ist sie?
Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune
aus wie eine
certainly
Maria.
changed when you
Was
gave her
ist
that
das? Maria?
message.
Wahrscheinlich, ne?
I wonder what it meant.
Die heilige Jungfrau?
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
Mal gucken.
The Virgin Mary.
Yes!
Das sieht man doch
Admit, she
total.
was the last
obvious.
person I was expecting to see in here.
Aber das stimmt schon, ne? Hätte ich jetzt irgendwie auch nicht, aber das habe ich auch.
Aber nur weil sie ans Seancen macht, heißt ja nicht, dass sie nicht an Gott glauben kann.
Ja, aber trotzdem hätte ich sie jetzt auch erstmal nicht in dem
Rather
thematisch hier erwartet.
unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies. For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least.
Sein Schatten mag ich.
That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily.
Alles ist mit Blumen, ne?
Interesting.
Ja auch. Die
Those
Blätter.
pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves.
Ja.
Na dann quatschen wir eine Runde.
It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me.
Dieses Symbol für Sprechen ist
I've got
irgendwie
a
so
few
komisch.
questions for
Diese
you, Mrs.
Lippen.
Martin.
So
I'll try to
Riesenlippen
answer
sind.
them the best
Aber
I can.
Ja, na dann, erzähl mir was von deinem Sohn.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
Oh, come
He's
on.
all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
Erstmal was
What do you know
über
about Juliet, Madame Dupre's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for a polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
Okay, was bedeutet die
If you'll
Nachricht?
indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
Saint Rock is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Ah, ich hätte
Perhaps
irgendwie
you
mehr
were looking for
erwartet.
something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
Oh ja.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job.
Na dann erzähl was über dich
What
selber,
exactly is it you
bitte.
do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Ich will kein Voodoo.
I think I'll
Just
take you
gonna
up
tea.
on your offer for tea, after all.
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
Oh, vielleicht können wir uns umgucken.
Okay. Was kann ich tun?
Interesting. Those pots
Hatten wir
look
schon.
as though they've
Kannst du ihn vorhängen?
Ja.
Oh,
amazing. Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Question.
Warum gehen wir nicht da rein? Teppich? Ah, okay, nur das.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin.
Können wir?
Okay, können wir sie vielleicht...
Können wir sie darauf ansprechen?
Mal gucken.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Ah ja.
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really
Ja.
a road you want to go down?
Sie guckt schon böse.
Ja, Pressure.
I had a look behind your curtain. Care to explain what all those things in that back room are?
Mr. Fordham, I was under the impression you could be trusted. Clearly, Albert was wrong about you.
Why are you keeping them out of view? What's their significance?
I don't like people invading my privacy, Mr. Fordham.
Yeah, okay.
You're no longer welcome in my home. Please leave.
But without me, your son won't get out of jail. Nobody else thinks he's innocent. Are you really going to put your pride over your son's life?
And now you insult me? You're really something special. I won't say it again. Get out!
Ja, GZ, wir haben
Sorry.
verkackt.
Ja, geht auf mich.
Clearly hit a nerve there, Fordham.
Rather suspicious, if you ask me. Perhaps her and Mr. Martin's religious practices aren't as innocent as they claim to be.
Oh, das glaube ich gar nicht.
Interesting notion.
Okay.
Kann man
Wohin
hier-
als nächstes?
Hier kann man nirgendwo. Nö.
Nee, okay, das haben wir uns. Das hab ich
Nochmal
uns
klopfen geht wahrscheinlich auch nicht.
versucht.
Does it really surprise you that she's not answering?
Nein.
Nein.
Oder? Dann.
Joscha hat's verkackt.
Hallo.
So, dann würde ich gerne.
Oh, taucht doch gar nicht. Ach nee, weil wir eh da sind.
Wir könnten halt ihm nochmal sagen, aber ich würde gerne auf den Friedhof eigentlich.
Ja, Friedhof. Und dann Friedhof Uni. Da wissen wir auch noch
St. Dennis
zur
Cemetery.
Montgomery.
Best view in the city. It's just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it. I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Wonder how the old gravestone is doing these
Oh
days.
ja, ich
Dann
hoffe,
suchen wir uns in so einem.
das wäre so geil.
Oh Mann, ey.
Nice view of
Aussicht.
the river from
Ja, ja,
here. You can
danke.
hardly even see the cloud of smog over the chum.
Oh Gott.
Just
This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb. I don't know him. Must be a recent addition to the force. Well, at least he won't recognize you.
Hey, Polizist.
Tag.
Good day to you, officer.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
Ja, schöner Tag für. Okay, ja. Also gerade hat die Taktik straight to the point super funktioniert. Ich finde, wir sollten genauso
Would you
weitermachen.
mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
Aber ich hatte meine liebe verstorbene Tante. Ich glaube, ich habe gesehen, wie am Haupteingang jemand über.
Ja, versuch's
Nein,
mal.
echt das?
Ja.
Ich glaube, das ist wahrscheinlicher.
Nein. Wie du willst. Du bist
Aber
hier
wir
in
sagen
Charge.
ihm, ey, ich muss da rein und dann, oh, da wurde eben jemand überfallen.
But
Nein.
it's my dearly departed Aunt Hester's birthday today, and I always bring her flowers.
Wo
I'm
sind die
sorry,
Flowers?
sir,
Ja, das habe ich mich
but
auch
I've got my
gefragt.
orders. Come back in a few days. I can assure you, your aunt won't have gone anywhere.
Ja, wahrscheinlich.
Du Arsch.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time for. Please, move
Ja,
it.
okay.
Okay, wir dann.
Haben wir das auch nicht? Okay.
Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then.
Ja, ist auch schon geil. Ich finde, er ist halt auch nett. Das ist so, auch so ein Comic Relief die ganze Zeit, ne?
Das ist noch eine
Plaque
Gruft.
says Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it doesn't belong to anyone important.
Naja, wer sich eine Gruft leisten kann, Also back to the
Kann
map. Oh, man kann direkt von da. Okay, das kann ich sagen. Ne? Uni? Oder willst du erst da rüber nach
Eigentlich lieber erst
Forest
dann.
Line?
Genau.
Ja, Forest Line.
Ich will mal sehen, was die Frau so macht.
Ah, Blumen.
Egad! Is this someone's room or a jungle?
Quite a fascinating array of plants in here. Not to mention the machinery on the table.
Das war
Seems like Juliet is very interested in getting extra
Ja,
credit.
die Freundin von ihm.
das ist ihre
Die ist
Zuhause.
doch Botanikerin, ja.
I wonder what sort of fertilizer or growth tonic these plants are getting. Whatever it is, it's definitely working.
Ja, Blumen.
Erst Bücher.
That's quite the book collection. It almost puts Adelaide's to shame.
All impeccably cataloged and organized as well, which makes the two missing volumes stand out even more.
Ja, welche zwei werden das wohl
Those are the
sein?
most vibrant flowers we've seen in a while. I bet they smell extra strong.
Yes, they certainly do.
It's a good thing you're the one with the nose.
Das wäre so witzig, wenn er jetzt niesen würde, so Pseudo.
This plant makes Miles Jr. look like a single blade of grass.
Okay.
Okay,
They
Notizen.
appear to be scientific scribblings. I can't make heads nor tails of them.
That
Oh.
makes two
Du
of
dürfen es
us.
nicht mal versuchen.
They appear to be
Okay.
Nee,
alles
makes
klar.
das ist alles das Gleiche.
Okay.
Erstmal das.
Well, now, this is interesting.
Okay, Auswirkungen von Ätherizität, Flora. Größere strahlende Blüten. Die Produktion von Chlorophyll scheint sich zu verdreifachen, das Wurzelwerk wird gestärkt und die Absorptionsrate von Nährstoffen wird erhöht. Deshalb sind die wahrscheinlich auch so abgefahren. Ja. Zusammenfassend, Pflanzen gedeihen unter Kontakt mit geringen Mengen von Ätherizität. Die Langzeitwirkung kann nur durch weitere Beobachtungen festgestellt werden.
Jetzt steht hier gleich der Effekt.
Auf die Fauna, okay, Beeinflussung des Gehirns. Testsubjekte verhalten sich wie in Trance.
Oh, das hat die vorher.
Kontrolle über Muskulatur geht verloren. Flügel schlagen in wiederkehrenden Rhythmen. Interessant. Zusammenfassend, wenn Tiere höherer Ordnung mit weitreichenden kognitiven Fähigkeiten, Menschen eingeschlossen, mit einer festen Menge von Ätherizität in Berührung kommen, verfallen sie in eine Katatonie, die sie reglos und wie tot wirken lässt.
Aha.
Das kennen wir ja irgendwo.
Das heißt aber nicht, dass sie es selber war. Es kann auch dann doch ihr Freund sein, weil sie würden doch mit ihm über sowas gesprochen haben. Oder sie selber, weil sie ihn nicht heiraten darf und gezwungen wird.
There's a bunch of technical nonsense. I can't understand a word of it.
Das ist kein Nonsens.
Etheric pressure. What a bunch of nonsense.
Hier sind Fliegen drin, ne?
You're just doing what flies do
die
best.
hast ja auch, ne? Ihre Versuche mitgemacht. Und jetzt werden die wahrscheinlich...
Oh, geil. Das war super cool dargestellt.
Ja, was haben wir?
Und jetzt sind sie, genau, ne?
Jetzt sind sie
So
langsamer,
lazy.
ne?
Oh, would you look at that? Etheric pressure.
Okay, das hat er
Das
schon,
ist dann okay.
das hat er schon kommentiert.
I have no idea nor desire to know what purpose that thing has.
Okay, aber jetzt hat er dazu keine Notiz gemacht. Aber ich finde das sehr
So.
sehr interessant.
Ich mache mir mal eine Notiz dazu.
I'm guessing they're probably full of more scientific equipment or plant-related stuff.
Aber wo ist sie?
Ja, wahrscheinlich in der Uni. Da waren wir
Hier
jetzt
ist
noch
ja
nicht.
nichts mehr.
Ne.
Da gehen wir aber noch in die Uni.
Jetzt noch in dieser Folge?
Ja, das
Okay.
wird ja nicht so lange dauern. Ich finde, dann ist es sehr rund.
Dann waren wir überall mal, ne?
Ja.
Außer beim Grabmal
Grabmal.
von Tom Riddle. Ich weiß nicht, warum ich jetzt Tom Riddle gesagt habe.
Oh.
Das macht überhaupt keinen
Macht
Sinn.
überhaupt keinen Sinn. Vor allem, weil es sein Vater ist, der liegt auf dem Friedhof.
Ja, genau, aber daran dachte ich gerade. Ist es nicht sein Onkel?
Also,
Nee, sein Vater,
sein
ne?
Vater, der Muggel.
Und stimmt, er hat mit seiner Mutter lebt dann noch.
Die verrückte, hässliche, schielende.
Und die ist aber zu ihrem Onkel, glaube ich, oder irgendein Großonkel oder so.
Those
Anyway.
flowers are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes, though.
Mal gucken, was gibt's hier noch?
Quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. I wonder if they serve any purpose or are just meant to look pretty.
Das ist natürlich Hintergrundmusik.
Judging from that pipe, that contraption must be used to keep the plants hydrated. But it looks like a giant earwax remover to me.
Genau das.
Exakt.
I've never seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them?
Gibt's noch irgendwas?
Jetzt redet halt. Ja.
Ja, ich weiß. Oh, Bonsai!
One of those cute little
Mein Bruder hat
Japanese
Bonsais, ganz
trees that are
viele.
all the rage these days. Personally, I don't see how giving a tree a haircut is meant to be relaxing.
Ja.
Ach, du hast keine Ahnung.
Pardon the
mag ihn.
disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
Perfekt.
Ich fand es ein bisschen merkwürdig, dass wir einfach so in ihre Wohnung reinmarschieren konnten, ne?
Die sind eingebrochen halt.
Okay.
Sie ist aber nicht so hübsch.
Do you know
Hey.
anything about the events leading up to your mother's premature interment?
Aber sie ist größer als wir.
It was a
Yes,
complete
ne?
shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was.
Oh, sie
What
guckt.
sort of
Sie hat gelogen,
Nach
hast du
unten,
gesehen?
ja.
celebrate their mother's death?
Ist das,
I
wenn man
can
so
name a
nach
few.
unten guckt? Oder
Juliet definitely didn't shed any
Seite.
tears over Madame Dupre, though. That much is obvious.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible about it. You have to understand, I didn't want her to be dead. I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
Ich habe übrigens ein witziges Detail für dich. Wenn man lügt, also richtig schwer lügt, nicht so Notlügen, sondern dann schwillt, weil du weil dir warm wird und dein Blutschnellpunkt schwillt die Nase an. Und deswegen jucken sich Leute ganz oft an der Nase, wenn sie wirklich lügen. Wissenschaftlich bewiesen.
Why don't you and your mother get along?
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved of anything I did. When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties. Then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally, I've always found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr. Martin?
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham. But you're not
Surprise!
mistaken. I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption. As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember.
Die wollte ja auch nicht mit uns
She's
reden,
like
was
the
es
aunt
nicht
I
darf.
never had.
Ah. Okay.
What can you tell me about Albert Martin?
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates. But with Albert, I found myself intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again.
Oh, wie süß.
It
Ja,
wasn't
ganz
too long
dreckig.
before I had him bringing me tools and equipment, regularly.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute terror when she found out.
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite passionate. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't any secret that he hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
Besonders
My
Lilien.
wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things, just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
Ey, erzähl's von den Pflanzen auf unserem Balkon. Die sterben hier immer weg.
Ja, weil hier Dauerhitze drauf scheint.
you know
Ja,
anything
Ski
about
vor allen Dingen.
ethnicity, Miss
Jetzt kommen sie
Montgomery?
wieder im September.
You surprised me,
Oh,
Mr.
bitches,
Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies.
Ach,
Despite
darüber
what the
wundert sie sich
newspapers
nicht, dass
have
wir
been
es wissen.
reporting,
Ja,
it's
und welche
already
Gedanken wir
possible
dann
to
irgendwie haben
access it
könnten.
in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been
Aha,
purely
liar.
theory.
Liar.
I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver, dissembler, her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research.
Der Kommentar kann ja auch nur kommen, wenn wir vorher bei ihr zu Hause waren.
Finde ich
Ansonsten
tatsächlich-
ist es andersrum.
Was ich in so der Art Spiel auch mag, dass du quasi die Handlungsorte im weitesten Sinne nacheinander abstecken kannst und jetzt natürlich da nochmal drauf eingehen kannst. Ja.
Miss Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
Aha, den Ersatzschlüssel in ihrem Zimmer haben wir gefunden, ja.
Haben wir?
Ja, haben wir doch. Den haben wir doch mitgenommen.
Ja, haben wir. Haben
I
wir
found a
mitgenommen.
spare key in your room, enclosed in a letter from your landlady.
Ach, das.
You
Hat
went
nicht-
through my room?
nicht
through
gesehen,
my
dass wir den
private
mitgenommen haben.
things? How dare you?
Ja, ist eine
Part
gute
of my
Frage.
job,
How
Mr.
dare you,
Henry.
Jenny?
Now tell me about your experiments.
No, Mr. Fordham, I don't think I will. You had no right to go through my private documents. And I'm not legally obligated to tell you anything. So kindly drop the subject before I decide to press charges against you for unlawful entry.
Ooh, touchy, isn't she?
Wir hätten sie erst alles
Although
hinterfragen
it's
sollen.
generally
Ja,
not a
dachte ich
good
auch
idea
gerade.
to tell people you went through their thing.
Merken wir es für die Zukunft?
Und dürfen wir
meinst
doch
du?
noch.
These plants are impressive. Are they yours?
Yes,
Ah,
I've
das ist ein
developed a
bisschen
method
komisch.
to make them extra
gut.
healthy and strong.
They're larger than
Also sie ist halt
anything
nicht
I've ever
ganz so
seen. How do
mega
you do it?
wie.
Ah, but I
Ja,
can't
aber das
reveal
ist
my
so die
secrets,
emotionale
Mr. Fordham.
Kurve.
Ja.
The
Naja,
world will hear about my discoveries soon
ist
enough.
ein bisschen unglaubwürdig dann.
Incidentally, do you know anything about Easter lilies?
No, I don't keep or grow those here.
Aber man kann es ja sehr schwer sonst schreiben, sonst
Ja,
dürfte es
klar.
erst am Ende aufploppen,
Klar,
das geht ja auch
klar.
nicht, ne?
Aber es ist trotzdem, es ist ja Running
Can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy. If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter. But he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide for him for so long.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Alright. Das heißt, uns bleibt der Friedhof, richtig? Das haben wir uns alles
Richtig. Oder wir
angeguckt.
müssen noch immer irgendwo.
Aber wir suchen noch so ein Aufputschmittel. Aber ich meine, bevor wir jetzt eh nicht alle Orte abgeklappert haben, das war auch noch gar nicht so krass wahrscheinlich.
Und guck mal, es ist
zusammen-
verschwunden.
Genau, wir können
Also
nicht
hier
mehr
gibt's jetzt auch nichts mehr.
zur Mutter können wir nicht mehr, wir können nicht mehr dahin. Das heißt, da haben wir, sagt uns das Spiel natürlich dann relativ easy, okay, du hast alles gesehen und alles gehört. Macht keinen weiteren Sinn, aber wir
Genau.
können noch mal, dann würde ich auf den Friedhof, dann noch mal auf jeden Fall zurück in den Kerker. Auch ihn mit dem Wissen konfrontieren, dass wir jetzt gewonnen haben. Aber Friedhof von Saint-Denis.
Genau,
und der-
den kann man wahrscheinlich nicht sofort betreten.
Der kam-
Vermute ich, weil du musst dir erst was ausdenken, wie du ihn ablenkst.
Ah, ja, ach, entschuldige, da waren wir ja.
Ja.
Warum
Weiß ich nicht, wollte ich
denke
dir nur
ich denn
sagen.
gerade die ganze Zeit, wir waren nicht. Oh Leute, ich bin müde.
Ja.
Ich gehe jetzt schlafen, gute Nacht.
Oh Yasumina sei, sag ich dazu.
Oh, ja, tschüss.
Bis dann. Tschüss.
Bon nuit.